Hi pro trainers and readers of Canfitpro magazine, I'm Holly and this is your supplementary video for my hamstrings article. So we have 4 different exercises for you to help you and your clients get some more suppleness in your hamstring. So follow along. The first one is to be able to flex in your lumbar. Now many of us are flexed already, but we don't flex very well. So we're going to go down on the floor. We're going to go into our 4-point position. Now with our regular 4-point, we'd have everything stacked on top of our feet, our hands, and our knees. But with this one, we're going to shift our weight forward. And what this is going to do is with the weight shifted forward, it's going to give us an opportunity to really cleanly flex your thoracic spine and be able to close those ribs at the front of you, at the front. So we're going to shift our weight forward as far as we can comfortably, and we're going to round our thoracic spine as much as we can. Now, closing the ribs at the front will happen when we blow all of the air out, as much air as we possibly can. Now we're going to hold that position, hold our breath, and continue to increase the curve in our thoracic spine. And when we need to, when we breathe in, we're going to hold that position, and with every breath out, we're going to increase the curve in our thoracic spine. And what that will do is it's going to close the ribs at the front, it's going to exaggerate the thoracic curve in a nice smooth curve and teach our body how to flex well, which will give us the opportunity to round everything to be able to do a better forward fold for our hamstrings. Now our second exercise is to change where you tilt your spine from, where the hinge point is in your spine. Now we know we have several curves in our spine, but where the apex of those curves can be will change how our hamstrings are loading. So we want to take our fingers and just sort of probe around into the spine and find where the apex of the curve is. So that would be the valley at the bottom in your lumbar spine. So we just want to root around in there and find out where the valley is, the deepest point, and we want to redistribute that perhaps to somewhere else to give some more space to your hamstrings. So let's say if we want to shift it up higher, we want to put a finger there to bring some awareness to that spot, and we want that to be the hinge point when we extend and flex. So we're going to practice extending and flexing our spine with that being the hinge point around which we're moving. So that's going to be the apex of that curve. So we just want to practice that. Do a number of reps so that you can feel that the apex of that curve has changed to the spot where we'd like it to be. Perhaps it needs to be higher, perhaps it needs to be lower. We know where we want our apex to be. And the more we practice that, it will give our body the signal that that's the hinge point at which we want to have that curve. And then we want to practice our forward fold. So our third exercise is we want to be able to tuck our pelvis under and gap our lumbar spine. So flexing our lumbar spine while we posterior tilt our pelvis. We're going to use the wall for that. So I'm going to go up against the wall, and I want to not be having my feet far away. I'm using the wall as a pseudo-gravity. So I'm using that to keep me stacked up nice and tall and to give me something to feel so that I can help myself with the posterior tilting I'm about to do. So what I want to do is if this was the wall, I want to posterior tilt my pelvis, so tucking the tail under, as I'm gapping my lumbar spine towards the wall. So the spine is gapping as the pelvis is tucking under, with the wall as feedback. So what I want to do is, instead of thinking about squeezing my glutes or tucking my tail under, I'm going to move my abdomen and the contents of my abdomen behind me. So you're going to shift, if this was the wall, I'm going to shift my abdomen in towards the wall. Not squeezing it, just traveling it through space. So I'm going to travel that abdomen through space towards the wall, and what that's going to do is it's going to ask my pelvis to tuck under, and it's going to ask those lumbar spine to open. So we're going to let the traveling back of the abdomen to ask the pelvis to tuck under, and the lumbar spine to open. And what that will do is it's going to give a better alignment for that shape that we need to make in order to get the load on our hamstrings in a better place. Our fourth exercise is to be able to fold from the right place. Again, just like the spine bending in the right place. If we have clients that are hyperextended and have weight in their heels, they're going to have a really tough time with access to their hamstrings and their forward fold. But if we can prompt them to bring their weight forward, it's going to change what is moving and the access that they have to their hamstrings. So we want to get them to feel for themselves. Put yourself in your normal standing position with your weight in your heels and see how hard that is to do a forward fold. And then encourage them to bring their weight forward into the front half of their feet and then see how their hinge changes. And so those are the 4 things that I would recommend for being able to get more access to your hamstrings by stacking your joints better, moving your joints in a different way, changing the hinge points, and being able to make those curves work for you instead of against you. I hope that was useful. Check out the rest of my YouTube channel and let me know what you think. Thanks for watching.